Val's still alive, so that's good. What we do need, though, is we need another... welcome to the episode, by the way. This is episode, I want to say 9 or 8. Anyway, yeah, last episode we lost Jeb. But it's fine because it's not Val, and Val is the one we're trying to keep alive. We have Bill still in orbit. We could bring him down anytime, but I'm not in a hurry to do that at the moment, just in case we decide we've got a job for him or something. Bob has still yet to fly. Val is our only pilot. We have a mission to go to the Mun. We want to go low over the Mun, and I could send Val, but Val's been, so we're looking through our crew to see if there's anybody to hire. We do have a mission for saving someone, but I don't know if they're a pilot or not, and I want a pilot. It seems we only have one pilot available to us. She is Titop Kerman, who is beyond courageous. I mean, if we compare her to Jeb, she's got so much more courage than Jeb. However, she is she's stupid. But hey, you don't need the intelligence in the pilots we're using, as Jeb has proven. He was not considered stupid and could not get out of a capsule with a parachute. So, Titop, welcome to the team. We are going to. Oh yeah, we could personalize what we're going to do. What are we going to? I think we'll make you red. Is that okay? Yeah, let's do that. Let's make you red, or whatever. Anyway, I'm going to play around with that, and we're going to go to the Mun. So I will see you there. Alright, so here we are on the launch pad with the Carrot 6. This is basically our Carrot 5, but we'll put a couple of extra tanks on for extra fuel. The mission here is, and we're going to get this going, get the engines on. T-top is ready. We're launching. Oh, the mission here is to get to the Mun. We're going to put her in orbit. Oh, she's loving it. See that? She's really excited. Get her into orbit and pretty much get some science. We've got a couple of biological sample capsules on there. We do not have the science bay. I'm not sure about the fuel that we actually have for this, so we'll see. We should be able to get into orbit though, which is fine, and then we should be able to come back. And the aim here is basically complete that mission, get a bit of science while we're there, and hopefully get us to the next node on our program, because I really want to get the task, which is to land on the Mun before I actually do the landing on the Mun. We could do it now. We could actually put a craft up and land on the Mun now, but I'm just I want to do the missions as they sort of suggest. So the thing for me is I find really interesting that I have the tech and the facilities to probably land on the Mun, but it won't give me the mission. So we'll see. I think it probably requires I get the landing node to trigger it, but we will see on that one. So we're just going up there. We're gonna hopefully run out of these side boosters reasonably soon. They're very noisy. We're getting up to about 50 kilometers on our APOAPs. We're getting a bit of the re-entry heat, and it's really interesting off the side of the craft there. It's gone a bit weird. And then what I'm going to do is we're going to get to about there, and we're going to cut those. So we are now in a situation where we're going to go for circularization, and I probably could have gone into a slightly higher orbit, but we will see. And this stage should be able to get us pretty much into orbit. I may dump it just before we go orbital, I think is the phrase, isn't it? So 50. What is going on with these maneuver nodes? They're just not sitting where I want them to. Oh, because we're going through the atmosphere, that's why. Right, that would be my fault, because we were still going through the atmosphere while I was doing the calculations. There we go. That's better, isn't it? So, we have a burn time of, I don't know what. Now, this craft does not have solar panels on it, which I need to remember, because that is a problem with this craft. We're actually being a little cheated. We don't actually have any antenna on it, so the crew member is basically holding their breath, obviously, because we're not using any electricity to give them life support. Although, I don't know, can you take a Kerbal's helmet off on the Mun? I don't know if you can do that or not. Does it cause the head to pop? Is that something we need to be aware of? So what we're going to do is we're actually going to start a little early, because I think those side boosters are going to come off pretty quickly. But we'll see. So it says what we've got to do. I want to start just a smidgen before it wants me to, so maybe 10 seconds, because it says it's going to be a long burn. So we'll just fire that. There we go. That's first stage is going. Then we're going to decouple those. Now we're on to our long middle stage, which, you know, I could have actually staged a bit. I could have actually had a bigger bottom section and had a separate section, but this engine's doing a lot of running. It's doing our gimbaling as well on the way up. So it is basically what's been holding us on course. And now we're just looking and seeing, right, what are we doing, what are we gaining, how are we gaining things. We're approaching our node, we're approaching our apoapsis, 20 seconds to apoapsis. Okay, we're just holding it. Getting into orbit would be very nice soon. We've got a bit of time. I could actually stop this engine burn, and I may actually stop this engine burn once we start to get a bit of forward movement, shall we say, and then do a second burn, which you would never do in real life. You'd never have multiple burns like this up to orbit. If we start to get an apoapsis running away from us, we will do that. So here we go. We'll just cut that right. So I want to refine this. So we're going to go up a bit first, and then we're just going to refine this. You'll see this engine is actually capable of, of giving us electric charge, which I don't think the second one is. So we're going to be aware of that. So we're going to have a look and see, right, I want to circularize here, and I just want to bring that out. There we go. See, because we've got such an almost circular orbit, just the slightest bit of push is actually helping us. So we're going to use a bit of our electricity on this very heavy craft. You can see the reaction wheels are draining the electricity there, because we're actually having to use quite a lot of reaction wheel power to actually move this big heavy craft. We're going to get rid of a lot of the stage in a minute. In fact, will we, or will we keep it in orbit? Ooh, that's an interesting one, isn't it? Ooh, I could actually start my burn towards the moon with this, because this has got 500 meters per second of delta V left in it, which would be helpful. It would make the whole situation a little easier. So we're just going to do that, and I'm going to just fire the engine just a little bit to give me a little bit of control. There we go. We're getting a little bit of movement there, but not much of a problem. So we're now coming into orbit. There we go. Once we're in orbit, it doesn't really matter where we are. I just don't like it being too sort of... I like it being circular. I like a semi-circular, at least a reasonably circular orbit, just because it makes transfer to the moon a little easier than we would normally have. So there we go. Now I go. Okay, cut there. Right, now the next question is, do I keep that stage? 700 is most of the way there to the moon, so I think we're going to keep it for now. Turn off the SAS because we don't want to drain power. We're going to set the moon as the target. Going to come down here. We're going to be burning at an ascending node. That's wonderful, actually. That is brilliant. I want that on the ascending node. And we're gonna do, well, we're not aiming for a free return this time. So focus view. Pop my node up. Pop my node up. See, this is the issue I'm having. How can I edit that node? It's really quite annoying. It will not let me do this. So this is one of the little things that I don't know if this is a Kerbal thing now or not, where I am having trouble doing this. There we go. So we've finally managed to click it. I imagine you could probably use the alarm clock to do that. Does that allow you to? No, the maneuver planner. Where is the maneuver planner? It's somewhere. There's a maneuver. Oh no, do I have the maneuver planner now? I don't know if you have to get tech for it. Actually, that's a good point. Right. So we're going to just. We don't really mind which direction we're going to be coming in towards the moon at, but we want to come in low. We want to come in as low as possible, but not too low so that we're actually hitting the actual surface. So what's that? 6? That's a little bit on the close side. I want to go to about 50. 50 would be nice. 40 is good. Yeah, we can do that. Okay, so that's roughly where we want to be. So what we're going to do is we're going to just let the craft roll around a bit. Just let it go. And there is a let it go song in there that I'm not going to sing. I'm not going to sing that because that would just be strange and weird. And we're just going to let this craft rotate around. Now, if we had persistent rotation, I could actually time warp this, but I do not because we have no mods. There are no mods. If you're interested in a bit more realistic movement of craft, then get persistent rotation or any of those things, because unlike stock Kerbal, where you can just hit time warp and everything stops rotating, it will keep your rotation going, which is quite cool. Right, we're going to time warp towards this maneuver. Burn time is estimated to be 35 seconds, and most of that's going to be front loaded because we've got this big engine doing the pushing before we switch over. So we're not too worried actually about it. This should be a reasonably nice burn for once. He says this is probably going to go horribly wrong. So there we go. We're on the target. Burn time is 35. Node in 50. And we're just waiting now. I hate the waiting. I wish you could just... I mean, you can get MechJeb, which will actually literally just start your burns for you. So we're going to start this now, I think. Just get it going. There we go. Get it on the node. And this is going to burn out reasonably soon. So we're going to have a little tiny bit of engine left at the end to do about 100 meters per second of refinement, which for us is going to be fine. We're going to have a tiny little craft. This thing is going to fly off somewhere. I don't know where it's going to end up. It's probably going to end up, you know, hitting the moon outside of this. It's probably going to be a really elliptical orbit actually by the time we finish. I don't know. Right, get onto the maneuver there. And I'm going to cut that for a second because we're on our way. And I now want to put myself... We're actually going to ignore... We're going to ignore the node, which is an odd one. I know you're thinking that's odd and strange. There we go. We're going to put ourselves pretty much on prograde and we're just going to thrust a bit. Because, you know, I'm a classic KSP player and this is the way I used to do it, oddly enough. So he's going to bring it in and stop it there. What we got? A bit more. About that's fine. Now, if I was being clever, I'd actually gone polar, but this is our first low orbit around the moon. So we're going to go low orbit. We're going to go equatorial so we can come back because I'm not sure on the fuel on this craft. Although looking at that, I could go over the poles. So what we'll do is we'll come in, we'll loosely capture, and then we'll do a plane change, I think, and put ourselves into that position. Although I've got to be aware of that because we don't have solar panels. We've got to be careful of all of this stuff. So let us warp there. They shouldn't be singing. I'm no doubt getting a copyright strike right now for everything. There you go. There's our debris going back down. Is it going to... It's just going to go and do a loopy-loop all the time now, isn't it? Yeah. We'll knock the debris off, I think. We don't need to see that flopping around. Right, we're going to warp to here. We already have high science and we can always get more of it if we need to. So what we're going to do is, first of all, we're going to run a mystery goo from high, I think. So that's high. We're going to keep that. Right, so let's get on with this. We have log the data. We have got all of that. We're actually going to send you out on an EVA right now because we can. Do an EVA report. It's been done before. Okay, we'll just board you then. Right, so we're going to come in, and when we get to periaps, we're going to try and do a burn. We're going to try and get ourselves into an orbit. Now we don't want to go too tight because if I'm going to change plane, the best place to change plane is far out somewhere over there. So we're actually happy to be really loosely coupled to the moon right now. There we go. Right. So we just want to do that, and that's going to take us 5 hours to rotate, to spin round. But let's do. Helps if you put the rotation control on a little bit. There we go. Right. We are ready. Let's get going into the low orbit of Mun. Well, not low orbit. It's going to be quite an elliptical orbit. And we've got a bit of time to go. That's why it does bring you out quite early. I've noticed the time warp functionality is quite a quick thing. So there we go. We're just going to pop that in, and about now we're going to start firing because we can. There we go, and we should get a change about now. There we go. Look at that. And that should, before I move the craft, yeah, we're on track for what we want to do. So that's wonderful. Look at that surface. I think they've done a lot of work on the graphics of the surface and things like that. That is a lovely little picture, isn't it? Look at that. The visit to the moon. Right. What we're going to do now is we're going to observe that mystery goo. Wonderful. Keep that. We're going to press number 1 because I've set up some action groups. There we go. There we go. There we go. Lots of science. We're going to do an EVA. You're going to give me an EVA report. Wonderful. You're also going to collect that data there. You're going to collect that data there. Don't show me that. And we're going to collect the data from there. And we're going to collect the data from there. And we're going to take the data from there, and we're going to store all of our experiments back into there, and we're going to board. Right. I don't know where we are right now. Let's have a look. Co-report Mun didn't say when. Oh, so we don't know what we're doing. You know what? This episode is going on a bit, and I think we should actually maybe send you home quickly. I was going to do this, but you do not have the skills I'd like for this. I like my pilots a little more skilled, and I don't want to risk all that science. So we're going to take you back, and then maybe we will send a bigger craft that can do all of the things we really want to do in a longer mission, I think. So with that in mind, we now need to think about how we're going to get back, which is going to be difficult. No? Yeah, there we go. Little burn. Just like so. Let's have a look. Are we getting... What's my periaps there? It's in the atmosphere, but it's not great. So what we're looking for is I need to actually be at right angles. Let's have a look at this. Maneuver nodes. Right. I want to be... There we go. That's better. Right. So if I do this... Right. What's my periaps going to be? About 22. That's a bit low. Let's go a little bit higher. 50 is a little low. That's better. Right. We're going to put that on. We're going to go for that. So we know we can get into an orbit now around the moon. We know we've got enough fuel to actually go polar and change our inclination. We've probably got enough to land actually with that craft. So that's good. We're aware of what we got. We need to have solar panels because you can actually see our electric is going down every time I do a maneuver, which is part of the reason why I am not going to leave this craft round here doing this, because I'm a little concerned that if this engine does not provide us with electricity and we have a problem, it could go horribly wrong. Right, let's just fire this up. Right. Here we go, coming down. Oh, we overdid it a bit. Ah, well. That was a better burn than I had originally planned, because we've not had to do the horrible thing. So, note to self, do your burn a little earlier than you predicted one, and you'll be fine. So, let us bring ourselves down to, I don't know, what, here? 2 hours, that's near the way back. Yeah, we need to go about here. Warp here. There we go. Do-do-do. Ah! Whoa, that was too far. What happened there? Ooh, right. Oh dear. We'll just do that. Oh. Yet again, we managed to almost hit the atmosphere. What's going on with the time warping there? Ooh, crazy, crazy. Crazy, crazy time warping. Right. Well, are my parachutes ready to go? Yeah, that was, ooh. Titop, you almost joined Jeb there. That was, ooh, little heart pumping. I was hoping actually maybe choose our landing site, but this is fine. This is good. We can do this. Get any reports coming in? Nothing. No, nothing interesting. What's this here? What's this? Is this something we can get some reports from? That would be nice if we could. Yeah, that was. Ooh, I'm not entirely sure which key we hit there to do the time warping, but it seemed to have decided it was going to warp us round the planet completely for some reason. And of course the focus was stuck on the moon because I hadn't reset the focus. And of course, I don't know what in your keyboard, but my keyboard for resetting focus is the @ sign, which is a bit of an odd one, and I sort of quite like it, but I always forget it. Right, so we're coming in. Can we get any science? Is there anything available? There is nothing available, because we don't know what we're above. What's that? Is that... We've done mountains. Is it highlands? I think... Is highlands a biome on Kerbin? Because that would be quite nice to have if there is a biome that's highlands. Upper atmosphere. No, still upper atmosphere. So we need to drop down. I think we're going to be dropping... I think 25? 25 the border. We'll find out in a second. And here we go. No, 25 is not the border, obviously. Maybe 20. 20 is the border? Is that right? I don't know. I have no idea what the border is, actually. So we'll have to think about that. 20 could be it. Oh, that looks just like where the KSC exists. Is that the... Or is that just me being optimistic? It's not the KSC, is it? It's just weird. Or is it? No. Yes. That is the KSC. How have we managed to do that? Oh, now. Isn't it something like the moon is tidally locked? Is that what's going on? That might be it. That may be it. So we're gonna cut the drogue chute. We don't need the drogue chute on. I forgot that we had one drogue chute on this one. We've skimmed it down to the minimum bare essentials. Anyway, let's go through the atmosphere as quickly as possible. So, Titop, how are you feeling? You seem to be very excited. You seem very energized and enjoying yourself, which is really nice. I quite like the fact that you've done so well in your first flight. It's a good one. Well done. Is there any science to be grabbed? No, there is not. Still no science. So we're gonna see what science we get. I believe we have completed some contracts. We have achieved stable orbit around the moon. We've explored the moon and gathered all science from entered the orbit of the moon and performed a spacewalk in the orbit of the moon. Good stuff. So that's good. We've completed all those little tasks. I think next time we're going to have to try and go and farm some science around the moon, go for maybe a polar orbit. We also have to think about some of the other tasks we've got, and we have a Kerbal in orbit. I haven't accepted the mission. We have a Kerbal in orbit that we could rescue, who may be a replacement for Jeb. However, I think Titop is our new replacement. She seems to be doing really well. I mean, apart from the re-entry, which was very Jeb in its approach, I suppose, wasn't it? You know, just how far we've got to go. Oh, we're almost down. Right, just slow that down to sensible speed. Titop, welcome to the team. Welcome back to Kerbin. Oh, really? Seriously, Titop? Seriously? Don't look at me like that. Do not look at... Get out. Right. Evie... Nothing. Can I take a sample? I can't take a thing either. It's just... Yeah. Really? Really? Right. Is there anything I can take from here? There is nothing to take. Right, let's take it back to the VAB, or the Space Center, and see what we got. Did we get enough for another node is the question. Right, we have got a world of science all of a sudden. That's really nice. That's a big chunk of science, 160 science there. So we got a big lump from the atmospheric pressure scan of Space Near. We've got a big chunk from the mystery goos. Got a couple of those, so that added up to like 50. Our temperature scans, Space Near the Moon, and the EVA got 24. So EVAs will be worth a lot around there. Vessel from orbit of the Moon. Crew report from Space Near the Moon. So yeah, I think EVA farming is the next way to go. So what have we got? Wonderful. Got some cash back. And you're up to level 1. You are now at the same level as Val. Of course, Val being the major pilot we have, the lead pilot. So we're going to get the landing stuff, I think, straight away. And then I'm going to have a look at some of the other bits, because we have enough for another node, I think. So while I have a look at that, and until next time, have a great one.